When you want to manifest something, how do you speak to the universe? Like a child wishing on a star? Like you're placing an order with an online store? Or maybe you order it about like a sergeant major? In this video, we're going to explore what language the universe truly understands so that it will hear you, and how to listen for its answers too, so you'll know exactly how to find everything you desire very quickly. It's like a treasure hunt, and it's fun. Let's begin. Hi, I'm Trevor, and if you've watched videos on my channel before, you'll know that I'm a great believer in the law of attraction and deeply cynical about all the woo-woo routines that are so often bandied about as necessary for manifesting. They're not. In my 30s, I was unhappy, divorced, deep in debt, and could see no way out of the mess I seemed to have landed myself in. The law of attraction was a lifeline for me, but I soon discovered that trying to get visualization right, not to mention positive thoughts all the time, especially when my life seemed so troubled, was nigh on impossible. It was only after I dropped the techniques altogether that I discovered the law of attraction works very simply and easily. It's just that we get in our own way. I have a free ebook, Let's Manifest a Ferrari, which explains how to manifest without the techniques. I'll put a link at the top of the description. So the scene is set. Let's talk about how to talk to the universe. First of all, what do you think of when we talk about the universe? Space and endless galaxies, perhaps? It seems as though the universe is a great big thing out there and we are a tiny speck, and somehow we've got to get its attention. But it's not like that at all. The universe is holographic. It's an integral part of you and you of it. Think of it like this. The walls of your home enclose some space. That's the part you live inside, right? But the space is just as much a part of your home as the walls, doors, and windows. You couldn't live in it if it weren't for the space. It's similar with our physical self and with our sense of who we are. Yes, you have a body, and you also have parts of you that can't be seen or measured, like a personality and thoughts and feelings. But you're far more than that. You have a spiritual side too. That's why you ask questions like, who am I and what happens after we die? There's some part of us we can't quite grasp with our conscious minds that knows we're more than flesh and blood. We sense it, but we can't fully step into that part of ourselves somehow. But we can become far more aware of that part of ourselves because that's our umbilical cord to the universe. We are never separate from it, just as we're never really separate from air or water or sunlight, even though it seems as though those things exist independently of us. Being more aware of our spiritual connection, I'll call it that for lack of a better term, opens up our power to manifest and to become the director of our life instead of a helpless victim of fate and circumstances. I'm going to take you through 3 steps, all simple and natural, that will have you talking to the universe, and the universe will talk back to you so that you can manifest your dreams. In reality, of course, this isn't a case of do step 1, then step 2. You will do them all at the same time, but you'll find yourself remembering them far more easily this way. And don't forget, if you want a more detailed understanding of how manifesting works without the hocus pocus, you can get yourself a copy of my free ebook, Let's Manifest a Ferrari, from the link at the top of the description. Right, step 1 is tuning in. We're very used to tuning into our bodies. We know when we're hungry, thirsty, tired, or in need of the bathroom. Our bodies send us a signal, and we have no difficulty understanding what's required to get back to so-called normal again. And that's important. We want to feel comfortable, and our bodies, via the brain, tell us when we're uncomfortable. We learn to interpret the signals from a very early age and respond accordingly. So we have no trouble at all tuning into our physical needs. The language of the universe is subtly different. It communicates with us through our emotions. But our spiritual self, if we can call it that, has exactly the same objective as our physical body. It wants to feel comfortable. For our spiritual self, that means happy and having peace of mind. Those aren't states we have to pursue any more than having good health should be a struggle for our physical self. We are born being happy and at peace. That's our default setting, if you like. What this means is this. When you have an uncomfortable feeling, it's not a sign that life has somehow turned against you. It's telling you that something's off. It's not resonating with your true self, and an adjustment is needed. It's no more serious than your full bladder telling you to go to the bathroom. Or if you prefer a different analogy, it's like the low oil warning light on your car dashboard. A top-up of oil should fix the problem, and you're on your way again. The issue isn't the signal, it's how you respond to it. It's not as obvious as taking a trip to the bathroom or dropping your car in for a service. At least, it isn't obvious because most of us don't know what to do, but it could be. And once you understand what it's telling you, which I'm about to explain, you will see that it is obvious. All you have to do is identify what's missing or in some need of adjustment, and then intend to change it. Setting your intention is the next step, and I'll go into more detail on that in a moment. But first, I must say this. We are conditioned to know how to fix things in the physical world. You do something. You go onto YouTube or you read the instruction manual. Nobody does that, do they? Seriously though, we fix things by doing something. And that happens because we know how to fix it, whether it's a leaking tap or a flat tire, whatever. However, when it comes to the kind of issues we want to fix by manifesting, the whole point is that we can't see a way. We don't know how, do we? If we could, we'd fix it, wouldn't we? The universe, on the other hand, has literally an infinite number of ways of fixing anything. And this is where we get into step 2, intending. And it's also where most people try to use the law of attraction fall flat on their face. So listen up. All right, step 2, intend the result. Now, the first thing to say here is to remind you that you're after feeling comfortable again. Just like when you have a full bladder, you relieve yourself and then you can go back to your activities, or maybe sleep, untroubled by the nagging feeling. My point is this. It doesn't mean that if Jane or John next door doesn't fall in love with you, your life will be over. Nor does it mean that if you're not a millionaire by the end of the month, you're a failure and the law of attraction is a cruel joke. It doesn't work that way. And you can't make someone else fall in love with you by trying to get the universe to manipulate them into noticing your good looks and charms, because they have free will too. As for money and material things like cars and houses, they won't fall from the sky. Although I did once manifest a Mercedes and all the cash to pay for it, with a lot of change, in a single day. But I couldn't have predicted that, and I didn't intend for it to happen that way. I'd wanted a Merc for a long time, and our car was falling apart, but my intention was to have a reliable, comfortable and roadworthy car before the current one gave up completely. I'd also had an incredible experience years before where a total stranger had turned up in my life and essentially paid my mortgage at a time when my marriage had ended and I thought I would become homeless because I couldn't afford the mortgage on my own. In a million years, I couldn't have imagined, visualized or intended the incredible series of coincidences that led to that happening. My intention was simply to keep a roof over my head. I genuinely couldn't see a way that that could happen. I just didn't earn enough money. The point is this: you have to let the universe handle it. Which brings us to step 3. Listen and respond. Listen, it's the universe. It isn't going to send you a WhatsApp message or text you. Well, probably not. But it can send you ideas that pop into your head from nowhere. It can send you dreams that stick in your mind. It can make a sentence someone says in a TV soap jump out at you. It can emphasize a headline you see on someone's blog that sets your mind racing. A million ways of communicating. Each of them will be accompanied by a feeling of intrigue or excitement or playfulness, or have a tinge of adventurousness, something good. They will never come with guilt or shame or cause you to hurt yourself or anyone else physically or emotionally. If you find yourself having thoughts of that nature, they're not from the universe. Ignore them like you'd ignore a mild cold. They will go away on their own. And really, that's all there is to it. Now, some of you will be asking, but don't I have to repeat positive affirmations? Or shouldn't I feel as though I already have whatever it is I want? My experience is that when you try those things, which inevitably will be at a time when you clearly don't have what you want yet, you end up tying yourself in knots. You become your own thought police and drive yourself crazy. You wonder how often you should repeat the affirmations, or if you're feeling the feeling strongly enough or often enough. And let me say this: the universe doesn't care about your techniques. All the while it's trying to show you the way to get your results, but you're not listening because you're focusing so hard on getting the technique right. Finally, let me return to the make someone love me wish, which I know is common. The feeling you want is to be loved. We all want that. And when you set your heart on that being somebody in particular, it's very hard to imagine that love coming from anywhere else. Let your intention be that you feel loved the way you imagine that person would love you, and let the universe take over. It always, always will find a way, and I promise you'll be fine. Remember to get yourself a copy of my free ebook, Let's Manifest a Ferrari, where you'll get a deeper understanding of how you and the universe relate and how easy manifesting really is. Thank you for watching. Happy manifesting, and I'll see you very soon in another video.